Hello there, how's it going everybody? This is Rohit Singh and welcome to my YouTube channel. So today in this video I'm going to show you how to use and how to make a thread in C. By using thread you can do multi-threading in C programming language, and believe me, this is not very tough. This is too much easy that you will love it. So let's get started. So at first we should go for some theory, and then next we are going for the practical ones. So let us go for the theory one. So threading in C. So here comes the term. What is threading? Thread is nothing but a lightweight process. Suppose you have a main process, it has some variables declared locally in it. Then if you are creating a thread, then all that local variables is access to all that threads being created. Okay, so thread is simple, nothing special. One process may have multiple threads, and one thing is to keep in mind that by using thread you can do asynchronous programming. Okay, so one thread is not wait for another one. Okay, so what is multiple threading? Accomplishment of some task by creating multiple thread inside a process is multiple threading. For example, let us look at a browser. One browser is having multiple tabs. A browser is a main process, and their multiple tabs are the threads. Okay, these are the lightweight lightweight programs, you may say. Okay, so let us head back next. Here you may consider an example. We have a server. Okay, server is the main process, and whenever a client try to reach to this server, then this server has to communicate with that client. So this server is creating a thread for handling a particular client. Same, when next client comes, then it created thread 2 for handling that client, and same goes for third client. Okay, so you may see that if we are creating a server and client architecture, then threading becomes very useful, and it is also necessary for us. Now here, head back to the requirements. Okay, so what are the requirements we need to do multi-threading in C? So first requirement is required library, then data types, functions and extra functions. Library in C, we are using POSIX standards. POSIX standards is a standard that defines threading properties. Okay, so we use pthread.h. Here P stands for POSIX standards. Okay, and comes to data types. So we are using mainly two data types. There are lots of data types here, but mainly two are using rapidly. Okay, so pthread_t, this is a data type which is used to store thread ID. Okay, in program we may create as many thread as we can, but for identifying a particular thread, we need to identify it by a particular ID. That ID is defined by pthread_t data type. Okay, now here comes attribute. So for defining any attribute, we use pthread_attr_t. Okay, it stores some attribute. Now here comes the question: what is attribute? Attribute is nothing but you may say it is a property which contains several values. Say suppose stack size, synchronous style. Okay, a program can be synchronized in multiple ways. You may use mutex. That's what we call lock variables. Okay, I just not go to that part. That is a part of operating system. Okay, so let's head back to next topic. Functions. Primarily we are using three functions everywhere. Okay, pthread_create for creating a thread, pthread_join for joining a thread from to the main process, and this process also helps us to return something from our thread function. Okay, so here is the value which we are going to return, and at last when a thread executes, then we run this command pthread_exits and give it and provide it some value. What value we provide here is going to return after the execution of this pthread_exit function. Okay, now we have more functions here that are pthread_self. This function returns thread ID, and pthread_equals. This function returns by using this function we can check that two thread IDs are equals or not, because if you are willing to compare two thread ID using equals operator, okay, then it is not going to work here. I mean to say that equals to not work here. We need to use pthread_equals. Okay, so here are the functions, and let's do some code. Okay, so let's do some code. I'm using Vim editor here. Okay, if you are willing to learn this thing, then I'll make a video for it. Okay, so let us creating a simple thread. Okay, so you may see here, let me zoom it a bit. So as you can see, we are using here two libraries, which is stdio.h and pthread.h. Okay, stdio.h is by default we are using for input output. Okay, and we are using pthread.h for getting our all thread functions. Okay, so let us come to the main function. If we are creating a thread, then at first creating a thread we need to create thread ID. Okay, we may create it as a variable, but in my case I'm creating two threads, so that's why I'm creating an array. Okay, an array having two elements. So each elements will becomes the thread ID of thread. Okay, now after creating thread id by using pthread id, then we are creating a thread. Okay, so for creating thread, we in this function we are giving 4 values. Okay, first values is the address of id, thread id. Second value is attributes. I'll show you what is attributes and how to handle it, but for now if we are giving it null, then it will consider all default attributes. Okay, and in the third arguments we are giving it thread function. Okay, the function which are going to execute by this thread. Okay, and for the last argument we are giving it null, or we may give some values here. This value is going to become our arguments for this function. Okay, so we are providing here null because we don't give any kinds of arguments here. So we are similarly we are creating this thread also. Okay, so you may see that we are creating creating 2 threads here. Okay, one is here and another one is here. Okay, so by joining this thread, after creation of this thread, we need to join it. Okay, by joining the threads, our main function, after joining, our main function waits for the execution, complete execution of each thread. Okay, so when we edit this line pthread join and give pthread join will take 2 arguments, which is thread id and the other one is null. The other one is the return value from this thread function. Okay, so here in this case our thread function is returning nothing, so that's why we are giving it here null. Okay, and similarly we are doing for pthread join. Okay, so you may ask that we are creating thread but it will execute it simultaneously. No, it is not. When you are creating a thread, then it is going to be executed by processor, but this line will not wait for the complete execution for this line is parallelly going to be executed. Okay, so remember one thing, whenever you create a thread, then after creating that thread, I mean this space here, whatever you write here, it is going to be processed asynchronously. Okay, and after joining, this is after joining function, after we call joining function, then after that whatever we could write is going to be executed after all our threads is being executed. So okay, and now let's head back to our thread functions. So here we are creating 2 thread function, and as I mentioned here, pthread underscore self, this function gives what? This function gives thread id. Okay, so we are creating 2 thread functions. And remember one thing, our thread functions return type is void pointer and argument types is also void pointer. So if we are going to provide some arguments, then we need to typecast it to void star. Okay, and whenever we need to return something from that function, we need to typecast it from void star. I'll show you later, but first focus on this. Okay, so we are creating a loop will execute from 1 to 10. Okay, and in this loop we are going to print thread id and value of I. Okay, so we are printing thread id and value of I. This function gives us thread id and I. Okay, and after the execution of this function, we just call pthread exit function. Okay, same goes for our other thread function. Here we are doing the same, creating thread id and printing ith value, and at last we are exiting it. Okay, code's pretty simple. So now execute it. If you are using Windows, then by default it will link pthread library. Okay, but in Linux, in Ubuntu case, you must have to explicitly link the pthread library. Okay, so I'll show you how to do it. Just put a command. I'm using Linux system, so this may differ from you. GCC and then file name, and then we are going to link pthread. So for linking, -L and then pthread. This is only for Linux system. Windows will do it automatically. You don't need to explicitly give this command. Okay, and here our program is compiled. Then run it. You may clearly notice that here we are having 2 thread IDs. Okay, so first thread IDs end with 16 and the other one is 20. Okay, but hey, this is not executing parallelly. This is executing one by one. No, it's not. Whenever you recompile it, re-execute it, then at every time we are having different outputs. Let me show you. Okay, now let us focus here. Okay, here we are having 2 thread IDs, 28. First one ends with 28 and the second one ends with 24. You may see that here the first thread is executed from 1 to 7, and then suddenly the other thread is getting started, and it will execute from 1 to 10. Okay, So other thread is getting executed 1 to 10, and then and after our first thread is completed its execution. Okay, so here you may see that whenever we are doing threading, multiple threading, then this is going to happen parallelly. Okay, it totally depends on your systems also. Okay, so in my case you can see that when in most of the cases this will happen one by one, but no, it's not. As you may see that this is happening parallelly. Okay, so this is a simplest example of thread. And now let's take in arguments. Okay, so we are creating a thread function, but that thread function doesn't take any arguments. Okay, now let's give it some arguments. Okay, so here is our second code. In this code, this purpose of this code is to show the implementation of thread and how to pass arguments in thread functions. Okay, so earlier we are doing what? We are not providing any arguments to the thread function. Okay, but now we are providing some arguments. Okay, so providing an argument, so we are here creating a structure which contains an pointer to an integer and an variable. Okay, so we are here creating a simple function. This function will having two arguments, integer array and pointer to an array. You may consider it as array of integer. Okay, and simple and integer, which is going to be the array length. Okay, and this function simply calculates the sum of all the variables present in the array. Okay, so this is our calculate function, nothing special in it. Now here comes to our thread function. So we are having a thread function. So its data type is void star and its argument is void star arguments. So in this thread function we are declaring a structure pointer and we are getting the arguments. So here we are typecast our arguments as a void star. Okay, so we need to this is a void pointer, so we need to typecast it before using. Okay, so we are creating a structure pointer, and in this pointer we are typecasting our arguments. Okay, so by typecasting our arguments we can use these arguments. But let's head back to the main function and see where we are providing these arguments. Okay, so remember I told that whenever we create a thread, then we are providing four values. The first one is the address of ID, second one is the attributes, by default it is null, third one is the function name, and fourth one is the arguments to that function. Okay, so in previous case we are giving here null, but in this case we are not giving here null because we are providing some values. Okay, so in my case I am creating a simple array and creating two thread ID. Okay, and creating a array structure variable name my array and assign this my array variable array pointer to this array and this n variable of this structure with the length of this array. Okay, so we are creating a structure my array and give it our array and its length. Okay, we are giving two things and we are providing its address. Okay, and remember one thing, as our function thread function is void star. Okay, this is having values as void star, so we need to typecast it. Okay, so we can typecast it here as void star and providing this structure address. So we are providing this arguments as by reference. Okay, so we are providing these arguments by reference because we are giving here this structure address, and same goes for second thread. Okay, and after this we are joining these two threads and let's see what are our thread function. So we are creating a structure pointer and assigning these arguments, typecast these arguments as structure and then assign it to var. Okay, so after assigning our remember our var is pointer to structure. So in order to access data of a pointer to structure we use arrow notation. Okay, so we are using here arrow notation and we are calling here calculate some function which we are declare here. Okay, so this function simply calculates and prints the sum of all numbers present in the array, and at last we are exiting from this thread and we are creating another thread function which is power. Okay, so in this power function we are providing a value n. Okay, we are providing value n. This simply returns the square of n. Okay, so here as you all know thread function is return type is going to be void star here, and arguments is also void star. Here we are creating a simple integer variable and typecast it to and typecast arguments as an integer to it. Okay, so here argument is a pointer, so we need to provide a star here for pointing to its value. So after doing this much of things, our a is going to have n values. Okay, number of, here we are providing n, and this n is going to be becomes as a here, and now we are printing square. So we are using math.h for this power function. Okay, and this power is return type is float, so we then also typecast it to int, and at last we are exiting thread. So in thread creation, three things happen: creation of thread id, creating thread, and at last joining it. Only three things: first creation of thread id, then creating thread, and then joining it. After joining function, whatever code you may give, this code is going to be executed after the full execution of our thread. Okay, so we are providing print statement here. This is going to be executed asynchronously, but this is going to be executed synchronously. Asynchronously means what? That this print statement does not wait for these two operations to be completely executed. That means this will execute it first, and this is because this is a lightweight task, this doesn't take much time. But the other one, here we are calculating power, this takes some time. Here we are calculating sum, this is also takes some time. So in my opinion, this will execute first, this statement, and after that one by one, after that these two will be executed asynchronously. Okay, parallelly you may say. Now let's execute it also. Here, so here we are providing command gcc and then file name, which is thread underscore passing arg, and we need to link here two things. Okay, so also for Windows user this is not mandatory, but for Linux user this is mandatory. Okay, we need to link math library and pthread library. Okay, so for linking math library I am giving -l for linking, and then m, this will link math library, and for pthread we also giving l pthread, and we are done. This is compiled, and let us execute our compiled file, which is out on the output of this code. Okay, here int main function, this print statement execute first, then sum executed, and then square executed. Okay, so let us run it again. Hey, did you look at the changes? Sum executed first, then print statement. This is not executing line by line. As I said, in multi-threading parallelly execution is occur, but in what sequence it may occur you can tell that. Okay, so this is going to be executed randomly. Okay, so after that square function is executed. Okay, let us execute it again. Okay, now it's giving totally different values. First print statement, then square is printed, and then sum. Okay, so in how many, in every times you execute it, it will give you different outputs. That is threading. Okay, so now head back to our next and last for today's video, last part. So this part is having, so now we are providing arguments. Okay, but we need to return some arguments from that function. So let's write a code for returning some values from thread functions. Okay, this one is going to be returning. Okay, yes, so the purpose of this code is to show how to return something from a thread function. Okay, again we are providing three libraries. Here we are explicitly provide stdlib because of malloc function. Here malloc function comes into play. Okay, I'll show you where. So again we are defining here some values. Okay, so what are the values? We are providing simply a character array or character pointer, you may also tell that both are same thing. Okay, and an integer variable value. Okay, so comes to the main function, we are creating two threads and creating two structures. Okay, these two structures having what? First one is having name. So our first here we are having two structure variables, first and second. Okay, so first is having two values and second one is also having two values, and we are assigning it as thread one name as first thread name, and the second one is value. Okay, and for the second structure we are doing the same, but here it is 15 and here it is 6. Okay, now we are creating two pointers. Okay, this pointer will contain the return value from that function variable, thread function, sorry. This pointer will contain the return value from that thread function we are defining here, thread function. So let us look at what is this thread function do. So in this thread function, as you may all know, for taking arguments we are declaring structure values, pointer to structure values. Okay, and then typecast this to structure values, our arguments, because it is void star, so we need to typecast it before using. So we typecast it, and this is the property of void pointer, that whenever we need to use that void pointer, then we need to typecast it. If we are having integer here, then we typecast it to integer, but here we typecast it to structure, as we are declaring structure pointer here. Okay, so after doing this, our arguments will become pointer to a structure. So as you all know, for accessing data of a pointer to a structure, we use arrow notation. Keep in mind this always. Okay, so here printing the thread name. Okay, and after that we are creating a pointer. This is going to be returned. Okay, so in thread function we only return pointers. Okay, we can't return local variables, as because of that after executing the exit function, pthread exit, it is going to delete all the local variables. Okay, so if you consider that we are providing the return value, okay, then it is of no use because it is going to be deleted. So we are providing here pointer. Okay, so we are creating pointer, and here this pointer is having some values, so we are allocating it some memory, okay, of single integer, and assign it to 0, and calculating the sum of all the arguments present in the array. Okay, in the array, no, we are here doing in calculating sum of all numbers in a range. Okay, so our value is the range, okay, and sum pointer is the sum. So at last in this function we are returning it. So for returning, as you all know, our function's return type is void star, so we need to typecast this pointer. So this is the pointer, and we are typecasting it to void star. So our thread function is ended here, and in here we are creating thread. So for thread creation we are providing 4 values. Address of thread id, here we provide address of thread id, but in joining we don't provide address of thread id, we simply provide thread id. Okay, this is a key difference you should keep in mind. Second value is going to be our attribute. In next video I'll show you what is attribute and how to set it. Okay, so in this video leave it as default. Okay, in most of the cases you don't need to provide attribute. Our attribute is needed in such cases when you see a thread is having a certain amount of memory located. Okay, if that thread fails to do his or its task in that particular memory, then we are having stack overflow. Okay, so in order to stop it, we need to maximize the size of that thread, allocated size of that thread. So by using attribute we can do that. Okay, so that was the off topic. I'll tell you later. Focus here. So for third argument we are passing the function name, and you may see that here we are providing single function. Here we are creating 2 threads with single functions. Okay, this is also possible here. And for first thread we are providing first structure, which is this, and for the second thread we are providing second structure. And whenever we provide something, we need to pass it by reference. So we are providing AND here, and typecast it to void star, as our thread function is having arguments as void star. Okay, this is the thumb rule, you can't change it. Okay, and after all of that thing happens, we simply join it. Okay, so we provide join function, and remember one thing, this join function helps us to retrieve the return value from this. So as you can see in this thread function, we are returning this pointer. Okay, and we are having this pointer in this join function. Okay, so the second parameter of this join function is going to have that return value. So in order to have that return value, we are providing we are creating a pointer which is first return, and second pointer is second return, and we initialize it to null. Okay, this is a good practice. Whenever you declare a pointer, just initialize it as null. Okay, so after initializing it, what we do, we simply give here by reference, and keep this thing in mind, that the second argument of this thread join function is a pointer to pointer. Okay, is void, but it is having property of that it is a pointer to pointer. Okay, so that means this is a pointer which is storing another pointer, and that pointer is having the value. Okay, so we need to provide here this value as reference. In thread, we are, whenever we give some values to a thread function and whenever we retrieved it, all things is done in reference. Okay, so we are providing AND here. Okay, so by this join function, the value of this first return becomes our first return value, and the second return will having the second return value. Okay, so after this joining, we are printing first return value by star operator and second return value by star operator, and after all things happening, we are providing pthread exit here, not in thread function, because we are returning here. Then how could I able to exit it? Okay, so we need to exit. After executing exit, all the values local variable is going to be terminated or deleted. So this is mandatory for us. If you are not providing this pthread exit, then all your local variables of that thread is not going to be cleared out from memory. So this is key point, keep in mind. In most of the cases, when you are not returning some values from that thread function, then pthread is going to be executed here at last of the thread function, but here we are as returning some values, then it is going to be exited here. Okay, and one thing is to keep in mind that when you are executing pthread exit, then we are providing here some values. If we provide here reference of some values, then pthread is going to return it. Okay, so we are not here returning some values, that's why we are providing null, and this is not of many use. Okay, so in 99% time we use pthread exit as this. Okay, so don't think so much about it, and let's try to execute it. So what this total code is doing, we are having two threads and two threads calculating the sum of all numbers in range this and this. Okay, so for 6 it is going to be 21, and for 15 it is going to be 120. Okay, so for 6 it is having 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6, which is 21, and for 15 the same is going to be happen. And let's execute it. So we are providing GCC thread and okay, thread returning values dot c. We are not linking here math library as we don't need it here. Okay, so execute it, and this is compiled successfully, and execute our code. So as you may see that we are first thread 2 is executed and then thread 1. Okay, so this is doing parallelly and randomly, and at last after joining I told you that it is going to be synchronous. This is not going to be reverted. Okay, after joining function, whatever you write code, that is going to be executed line by line. This is not going to be executed parallelly. Okay, so this part of code is not going to be changed, but this part of code is changed. You may execute it how many times, as many times you want. Okay, see, this part of code is changed, but this part is not. From the creation of a thread to the joining statement, whatever you write in between these two lines, then that part of the code is going to be executed parallelly. Okay, so here we are having 120 for 15 and 21 for 6. So that's it guys, keep it sharing. See you next time. Bye bye. If you like this video, then please make sure to subscribe if you are new to this channel, and hit the like button. Thank you.